Hi, this is Julian for Pro Tools Expert, and in this final instalment of the A-Z of UAD, we're on the letter Z, and that's for Zener Limiter, conveniently released just in time for this final instalment. So taking a quick tour of the UI, we have switchable gain, nice big retro VU meter showing gain reduction, and we've got input and output gain controls. This is fixed threshold, and you adjust the threshold by adjusting the input gain and correspondingly pull it back or boost it up for makeup gain on the output control. There are three fixed processes, comp 1, comp 2 and limit. Comp 1 and limit are both in white. You'll see other things that are in white around here, like some of the attack and release times. They show that these were original settings on the hardware unit made by EMI, and the yellow ones are updated versions, updated additions added by Chandler to make this more useful in modern workflows. Comp 1 is softer knee and with slower attack and release times compared to Comp 2, which is a little bit more assertive and modern sounding with faster time constants. Limit is what it sounds like, it's a limiter. We have an adjustable high-pass filter in the sidechain, and variable attack and release times, something which didn't exist on the original EMI unit. Also, we've got this mode switch up here. Most of the time, as you'd imagine, it's a compressor limiter. However, if you switch it into THD, that takes out the gain control element of the circuit, but it keeps the audio flowing through the signal path, and you can then use this, especially if you play with the gain structure a bit, you can turn it into an interesting distortion box. In the center section, you can switch the left and right or mid and side channels in and out individually. You can do mid-side processing, and you can link the channels for stereo operation. That's pretty much it. Let's listen to it running some audio. Okay, we're quite a long way off gain matching there, but I think you can hear, apart from the level difference, there's a real kind of smack being introduced to the sound with some of these more assertive settings I've set up. So what we have here is, on the kick drum, if we listen to this, we'll start off in bypass. Here we're running comp 2, which is the more modern of the two, with a relatively long attack to let some transient through, and then the release set to stamp down on it reasonably quickly, and that sounds like this. And I think you can hear that useful thunk that's introducing into the sound. Moving straight onto the overheads, this is set up as a limiter with a high-pass filter in the sidechain to keep the kick drum out of the detector circuit, and it's set up to bring up the tail of the snare and squash the cymbals and stuff, and it sounds like this. Moving on to the bass, this is set up in a slightly more interesting way. This is set up as a compressor on channel 1, but then what I've done is I'm using the two sides in series so that channel 2 has got THD engaged, and I'm running that to introduce a little bit of distortion. Because that then turns it into a hard left-right stereo effect, I'm then knocking those back down into mono again using a stereo width plugin. It sounds like this. Lastly, on the output, I'm running a Zener limiter in mid-side. As you can see, mid-side's engaged, and this is a good chance to show you a nice little trick that I discovered, which is that when using this in hardware, when you were balancing the input against the output gain controls, you'd probably adjust both at once. You can do that in software by holding down Shift, and the two gang together. If I turn this up, we're going to hear, because this is the sides channel, we're going to hear the stereo image spread out and introduce more antiphase. And if I bring it down this way, it'll become more mono and sit in the middle a little more. So let's have a listen to what that sounds like. and bringing everything in and out at once, let's listen to what this 5 instances of the Zener limiter make to this mix. So starting off with everything bypassed. I think you can hear that it really introduces an assertive kind of smack to the sound that's really nice. What do I think of it? I think it's fantastic, actually. As you can probably see, I've been running my 14-day demo for less than 24 hours, but already I think this is a really exciting plugin. I'm going to be playing with this more in the future. Anyway, that's been the A to Z of UAD. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.